Klaviyo's AI segmenting tool. What does it mean? How does it work? Is it any good? Let's find out. I'm going to share my screen. Let's get into the video. Okay, so as you can see here, I am in the segmentation tab of Klaviyo, and we're going to go ahead and try and create some segments based off of the AI tool that they have just recently added. So here we are. We have this, and we click this Define with AI. Now, you do need to be a bit specific just straight off the bat from what I've learned with using this AI tool when it comes to the prompts that you use. You can't just use things like, for example, here, I want engaged customers. You have to be a bit more specific than that. But hypothetically, this is how you do it. You describe the segment that you want, and the AI would whip out a bunch of segmentation here, or conditions when you click preview, and it gives you the explanation of what categories or criteria Klaviyo is going to use when it comes to creating these segments. So as you can see here, it's opened email is greater than 0 in the last 30 days, or clicked SMS is greater than the last 30 days, active on site, a person can receive SMS, or a person can receive email marketing. I am a little bit confused because the formatting doesn't work super well here, but I am also just a little bit confused when it comes to the and or segments. I'm guessing these are and conditions here, but it doesn't make it super clear. You can also upvote it. Let's go ahead and create that here, and we'll actually go ahead and create another segment while this is working along in the background. So we'll go here, and we'll go create a listen segment. We'll go segment, we'll go IB test 2, and we'll go define with AI. So I'm going to show you a little how I would typically use this tool and some of the potential issues that I see while using it. So let's say you want to engage email subscribers who have engaged with my business in the last 90 days and have bought posters before. Now, this is kind of interesting, right? Because I want to see if it's able to detect the categories of items that people purchase. And this would make my life a lot easier, because if I could just say people who have bought posters before, I want to see if it's able to detect the posters that are being passed into Klaviyo from Shopify. Also, just a little note here, it does limit you to 280 characters, which can be a little bit limiting, but let's see what it comes up with from a preview perspective here. Loading. While that's loading, I want to quickly take a look at this segment over here. So it's been done, and we'll go edit definition. So as you can see here, this is how it went ahead and made the definition for us. What somebody has or has not done, opened or clicked an email is greater than 0. Yep, cool. And these are and conditions, right? So this is what it's defining as engaged for me. And what someone has done is at least 2 in the last 45 days. Not a huge fan of that one. And I also would say that somebody who just subscribed to your newsletter would be considered engaged as well. So I would actually add this condition, or what somebody has or has not done, subscribed to list at least once in the last 30 days. So there's a few things that do need to be worked out, and I wouldn't fully rely on the AI generator just based off of this here, unless you can be super clear about what you want and you know what like a good segment actually looks like. Let's quickly take a look at this here. So, engaged email subscribers who have engaged in my business in the last 90 days and have bought posters before, right? Opened an email is greater than 0 in the last 90 days, or clicked an email is greater than 0 in the last 90 days. Sure, for some reason it's decided to not include that active on site metric again like it did in the previous segment. So you can see there's like a little bit of a disconnect happening here with the AI segmentation. And ordered product is greater than 0 overall time where name equals poster. Now here's the thing. I know for a fact that there is no product on this client's store that equals poster, right? There are categories that equal poster, and I would want it to switch that to contains poster, right? But here's the issue. The prompts limit that I've been given here, for me to explain all this to it, is going to probably exceed that 280 characters. And on top of that, the amount of time I spend configuring this here, I would be much better off just creating the segment myself and saving a whole lot of time, and also being a bit more assured in that there probably were not going to be any issues because I know what I'm looking for and I'm using this as a time saver. Based off of this, honestly, from what I've seen so far and kind of like my experiences with the AI segmentation tool, is that I probably wouldn't use it. If I'm being fully honest, I probably wouldn't use it because it just seems to be adding a few little gaps here. And from what I can understand, the AI tool is really a tool for people who don't really know what they're doing when it comes to creating the segmentation. Because if you didn't know what you were doing, you'd see this and be like, yep, okay, cool, this looks good. But, you know, me being an experienced email marketer and having managed, you know, hundreds of clients at this point, I know that this is not going to line up properly, right? I know this isn't going to create a segment I need. And it's that knowledge that I have that the AI doesn't. And if I was not experienced, I would miss that, and I end up sending campaigns to people who probably shouldn't have them, or this would comprise of segments of people who really don't even exist, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this segment will equal 0 people, and I'll show you what I mean once it's finished loading. But yeah, if I'm being fully honest, I probably wouldn't be using this tool just because it seems a bit rusty at the moment, needs a bit of improvement, and it can be a little bit misleading, right? Like, if you tell it to give you an engaged segment of people, I think that segment here is actually a little bit misleading, right? Like, engaged 30 days, yeah, personally I like to increase to engage 60 or even engage 90 days. Don't even really like to have this condition on here, right? Active on site is at least 2 in the last 45 days. I don't like that. Like, I'd get rid of that personally. And the reason being because let's say somebody just subscribes to their newsletter, originally they would not have been in this list, because if someone just subscribes to their newsletter, they probably haven't had a really good chance to actually engage with your emails in the first place, right? So obviously they wouldn't be added to the engaged segment, but we would definitely think they're engaged because they just subscribed. And this active on site is going to filter out a lot of people who are probably engaged, but just excluded them unnecessarily, right? So I'm not a huge fan of that. And let's just see here how we're doing. But yeah, like I said, I'd probably recommend just building your own segments at the moment, finding a few scripts online to figure out what segments you need to be creating in your Klaviyo account, and just using those. If I'm being fully honest as well with segmentation, when I think it comes to effort versus reward, right? There's this big debate about, like, you should be segmenting as much as you possibly can, and you should, but unless you have like a lot of subscribers in your database, like over 50,000, segmenting anything beyond engaged for a BAU piece of work, like business as usual piece of work, is just not worthwhile, because the amount of effort you're going to have to be spending to create customized, curated campaigns for different segments of people and the ROI you're going to get, you probably get the same amount of return on investment in terms of time and effort by just sending a more generic email to an engaged segment of your database. For example, you have engaged 90 days, so people who engage with your business in the last 90 days, or people who have engaged with your business in the last 90 days, are based in Atlanta, Georgia, and have purchased necklaces, right? You can create a campaign just for that segment of people, but if you're under 50,000 subscribers, odds are there's only going to be 1,000 people in there, right? Is it worth creating a dedicated campaign just for them? Or is it better allocating all that time to creating a more generic email that goes out to all 50,000 of your subscribers or engaged subscribers? I hope that makes sense. But there you go. As you can see here, this segment didn't even create anybody because the AI tool didn't detect what I actually wanted it to. So guys, that's my hot take. Awesome. I hope you found that video useful. Any questions, let me know. Comments down below. It helps the algorithm. We love the algorithm, don't we? If you have any questions, like I said, chuck them in the comment section. I have a weekly newsletter as well, guys, which you can subscribe to down below. It's in the comment, or rather the description of the video. And you can check out my website and connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Awesome. Thanks, guys.